webinar will be recorded, so if you believe that at any point you got a bit lost, if you feel that you didn't quite understand something, don't worry. In a matter of days, the webinar will be uploaded right where you logged in today, so you will be able to listen to it again and review it at your own pace. Also, I will be using a PowerPoint presentation. Yeah, this is the one I'm displaying right now. That will be available for download at the end of the session. So it's not available for download now because I don't want anyone to cheat and to browse through the slides before we get started. But I will make sure that it is available for download once we finish, so you can keep it for yourself. So before we begin, I'd like to ask everyone if you can hear me correctly. So please click on yes or no. Yes, so I have just created a poll, a question that you might be seeing on the bottom right corner of the screen. Yes, so click yes if you can hear me well. If you can't, just click no. Oh, but if you can't, you are not listening to my question. So, well, I'll write the question on the chat. If you can't hear me, click no. All right. All right, so if you can't hear me, okay, if you can't hear me, try logging out and logging in, yeah, again. So you might try closing the window and getting back in. Yes, try that, Ariel. I will be following whether you can listen to me, don't worry. Okay, so almost everyone can hear me. Gabriela, Inés, there is a question on the bottom right corner. Hay una pregunta en la esquina que dice si me pueden escuchar bien. Click yes or no. Okay, good. Okay, these polls, just as you have selected that you can or cannot hear me, will be the way that we will be interacting throughout this session. So I will be asking you some questions so as not to feel alone and to have some interaction and participation. So I will just be asking questions or displaying questions on the slide, and I might be giving you answers for you to click one or the other one. All right, Ariel, can you hear me now? Have you logged in again? Okay, good. If anyone has any trouble at any point during the video conference, just write to the chat, yes, and Veronica will be able to help you if you can't, yes? Great. Abril is also helping. She's in charge of the WhatsApp. We have to thank her. She's in charge of the WhatsApp on a Saturday. This is not a working day for her, so thank you very much for giving out a hand to us. All right, I will be, as I said in the introduction to the webinar on the form, I will be conducting this in English, yes? I will try to be clear, to be understood by everyone and by all levels, yes? This webinar has been open to any levels, so we've got students from AROS 1 all the way up to proficiency, our most advanced students. So I will just try to strike a balance between elementary and advanced information, let's say. So I will be trying to speak slowly, but if there is anything you can't understand, you just write in the chat and I'll be able to help you. And one last thing, get ready and comfortable to play with your mouth. So we will be using our mouths a lot, yes? So the good thing for you, not for me, is that no one will be able to see you unless you have some people next to you. But so get ready and stretch the muscles of your mouth, your lips, your tongue, well, your teeth, get them ready. You can't stretch them, but get them ready too. All right, let's get started. So we're going to be talking about 5 items today, and I hope we have time. If we don't have time, we'll just leave it for a second round. Yeah, I won't be speeding up or going too fast in case someone hasn't understood something. So we will be discussing the distinction between spelling and pronunciation. Yeah. We will be talking about vowels and consonants. Yes, this is what constitutes the way language is pronounced. We're going to speak about varieties of English. Yeah, is it British English or American English? What English should I speak? Yeah, we're going to be talking about common mistakes for Spanish speakers. Yes, so us, yes, Spanish speakers. You know that for different languages, English might be difficult in different ways. Yeah, so it might depend on one's mother tongue, nuestra lengua madre, to define whether something might be easy or difficult. For obvious reasons, we will just focus on Spanish speakers. And we're going to give you some tips on how to improve pronunciation outside the class. This webinar is going to give you basic information, yeah, background information. It is especially designed for people with no knowledge on pronunciation at all. These people, these students that say, I don't understand those weird symbols. I don't understand los jeroglíficos that my teacher uses on the board. Yeah, so it's been designed for them. It will include some more intermediate or advanced aspects for those that are already familiar with sounds. Yeah, so we've designed it in a way that everyone can profit from it in their own way. Of course, this webinar won't change your pronunciation overnight. Like at 7 p.m. today, you won't be speaking like the Queen, but you will have incorporated some basic information that helps you understand how to read a word that has been transcribed into phonetic symbols, how to go to the dictionary and interpret what the pronunciation of a word is. Yeah. And in a way, will raise awareness, yes, on what we use to produce sounds, like how we produce sounds. That is something that we usually take for granted, algo que tomamos como asumido, yes, in Spanish too. But there are lots of organs, lots of muscles, lots of parts of the body helping us to produce a specific word, a specific sentence that we really don't notice while we're speaking. Good, we're going to get started with spelling and pronunciation. Yeah, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see clearly. I will just ask another question, and it is if everyone can see these annotations, so these kind of doodles, this line that I am drawing on the screen. Yes, please click on yes or no. The reason is I want to make sure, because sometimes some students miss on it. So it's what I'm drawing right now. Tell me if you can see the red circles. Plus, it also helps me to see you're paying attention and you haven't gone somewhere else. All right, most people can see. That's just fine. Okay, so when we talk about writing, yes, we mainly talk about letters. Yes, we speak of letters that make words. Yes, individual letters that make words. For example, the word letters, yes, this word that is written on the presentation here is made up of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 letters. Yes, so this is just spelling. This is how we write down words, how we spell words. When we talk about pronunciation, when we talk about speech, yeah, we don't speak of letters, we speak of sounds. Yeah, so it is important to start with this distinction that letters are not always the same as sounds. Sometimes it might be the case that it is, yes, but sometimes it is not, and it is important to bear this distinction in mind. So have a look at these two pairs of words. We've got the word key. I guess everyone is familiar with this, so it's something that we use to open or unlock doors, yeah, a key, and car, yes. These two words are made of 3 letters each, right? So we've got key, K-E-Y, and car, C-A-R. So it's got 3 letters each. However, when it comes to sounds, notice that the word key is made up of 2 sounds, k and e. So we've got key, k, e, yeah? So for some reason, there are not 3 sounds, but there are 3 letters. In the case of car, we've got 3 letters, and we might have 2 sounds or 3. And this is where the tricky part starts. So in the case that we heard a British person pronounce the word car, it would be made of 2 sounds. So k and r, car. If we heard an American person speaking, it would be made of 3 sounds. Car, k, yeah. So you see that this also varies from English to English. In the case of key and car, we've got the same sound k, k, at the beginning of each word, but we've got a different letter. So in the first one, we've got a K, and in the second one, we've got a C. But these 2 letters are pronounced as one, as a single sound, as k. We can see the opposite effect happening in the second pair of words, where we've got the same letter, but a different sound. So in the first one, we explored the same sound with a different letter. And in this one, we will be exploring the same letter with a different sound. So both words begin with the letter G, yes? But the first one is pronounced G, good, G. The second one, it's pronounced J, George, J, George. So you can see that the same letter, G, can be pronounced in 2 different ways. So I hope that by now you are convinced that letters are not the same as sounds. And in fact, this is something that complicates our students of English, yeah, in any part of the world. Because in English, there isn't a one-to-one correspondence between letters and sounds. Yes, this is what I've written here below. So a one-to-one correspondence would be if the same letter, it would be always the same sound, but that is not the case. Yeah, we are fortunate enough to have been born with Spanish that usually has a much more regular one-to-one correspondence. So it is not 100% regular in Spanish, because in the case of K and C, K y C, we pronounced the same sound. Like, for example, casa and Karina, yeah, we don't really make any distinction there, but in most cases we do. And we also have some more examples, Italian, Portuguese, and Finnish, yes, Finlandese. In fact, Finnish is one of the languages that has got the highest one-to-one correspondence between letters or sounds. So if English doesn't really work for you in terms of pronunciation, you could always consider finish. Yeah. All right. Good. Let's move on. Great. Let's look at some more examples, just in case you haven't been fully convinced that letters are not the same as sounds. Let's look at some more examples. So these words, regardless of their different spelling, regardless means independientemente de, so regardless of their different spelling, have the same pronunciation. So these are called homophones or homófonos in Spanish. That is, two words that are spelled differently but pronounced the same. Homophones are the best examples of spelling versus pronunciation, because we clearly spell the words differently, but we pronounce them the same. So we've got buy, but you wouldn't know in isolation if I'm saying this or I'm talking about making a purchase. I'm talking about buying something. Weak, yeah, so the first one refers to the adjective, the opposite of strong, and the second one is a sequence of 7 days, yeah? So again, without any context, we wouldn't understand what we refer to. Two and two. So in fact, there is no reason why I should pronounce it twice, because it's actually the same. Sun. Look at this one. Some students, especially at a lower level, might be surprised to know that sun, yes, what keeps us warm, yeah, the sun that's shining, is pronounced the same as my son. That is to say, my child, my male child, yeah. So this is pronounced the same. Weigh and weigh. So the first one is a verb that means pesar. For example, you can say I weigh, and so some kilos. I won't really reveal my weight in this webinar. You won't make me do that. And way, for example, I need to find my way, yeah, meaning path, meaning somewhere I need to walk. And right, so look at how different these words are. So right, we've got a W. The second one, we've got G and H. But even so, these two words are pronounced the same, right and right, yeah? So just to help you see the difference, this is the way both of them are pronounced, right. So we can completely forget about the W that is there bothering at the beginning of the word. Good. Again, more proof that spelling and pronunciation, they are different concepts. In English, and this is quite similar to Spanish, we've got 26 letters in the alphabet. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's 27 in Spanish. So these 26 letters comprise 5 vowels, yes, and 21 consonants, yeah? So just 5 vowels, the same as we have in Spanish. But however, when we come to sounds, that is to say what our mouth produces when pronouncing English words, we've got more than 40 sounds, yes? So this is a mathematical proof, in a way, that spelling and pronunciation don't go hand in hand, yeah? So of these 40 sounds, around 20 are vowel sounds, yes, like 12 individual vowels and 8 diphthongs. Remember diphthongos from your primary school language classes, and 24 consonant sounds, yeah? And notice that I am not being quite precise here. I'm saying around, yes, alrededor de 40 sonidos. This is because depending on the variety of English we speak, we might be needing one or another sound, yes? So this really depends on the type of English you speak, yeah? This also happens to Spanish. For example, think about Spanish from Spain, yes? How do people in Spain say shoe? Yeah, they say zapato, yes? People in Argentina say zapato. So for that reason, or at least in Buenos Aires, I always say that, for that reason, Spanish from Spain has an extra sound that we don't have. even though the alphabet is exactly the same. Yeah? Good. All right, so we've spoken about vowels and consonants. These are really the core of pronunciation in any language. Yeah, I would like to ask a public question now, and which is, which ones, that is to say, vowels or consonants, contribute more to understanding? Yes, ¿cuáles contribuyen más a entender? Yes, and I mean, con cuáles uno no puede entender nada. Yes, this is the question. So which ones, I will make the question simple, which ones are more important in pronunciation, vowels or consonants? So I will just open a poll and you will choose the answer that you think is the best one. All right, there we go. Make your choices. Polls also give me time to drink some water. Okay, you will see a question, van a ver una pregunta, o dos opciones, mejor dicho, vowels or consonants, en la esquina inferior derecha. Yes? This is for some people who haven't answered. All right, let's see the results. It's nice to see results being published. So 29 people in this webinar, yes, that is to say 60% of us believe that vowels are more important, and 40% believe that consonants are more important. I won't give you the answer right now because you will discover this for yourself in the next 2 minutes. Look at this sentence. Can anyone be brave enough to guess what this sentence is saying? Yeah, try to fill in the slots. Yeah, and write them in the chat. Yes, if you know what this means. Yeah, so of course we can only see vowels here. We cannot see consonants. Okay, some people are saying they don't see the board. Si no ven el pizarrón, puede ser que hayan minimizado la presentación. El que no ve el pizarrón va a ver un botón en la esquina inferior derecha que dice restaurar presentación. Okay, so Juli is really trying hard here. Okay, so would you, I like it. Okay. Okay, so Constanza, you say you see the board, but in white. Okay, then what you should do is refresh. Refresca la página o salí y vuelve a entrar. Okay, good. So it's pretty unclear. Let's look at these at the same sentence, but now using consonants. Can you try to guess what this means or what we are saying? Okay, Seima Felipe. All right, he got it. All right, good. So could you pass me the, exactly, could you pass me the salt, please? All right, so you can see that if we compare both sentences, it is really clear, yeah, that consonants help us more to understand speech. Yeah, great, good, Constanza. So I hope that this has answered your question. And indeed, consonants are the most important sounds in a language. They are the skeleton of English words. Yeah, so without consonants, we wouldn't really understand anything. Without vowels, it would be pretty hard too. But without consonants, it would be impossible. So this is actually good news that consonants are more important. And the reason is because consonants are easier to produce in general, yeah? And because they are more similar to other languages. So English and Spanish share lots of consonants. So for example, as in mother, the M, the N, yeah? P, the letter B, yes? The sound S, yeah, many of them are the same, and some others are very similar. Yeah, the distinction is sometimes imperceptible. Yeah, but vowels may change a lot. Yes, because in Spanish we have 5 orthographic vowels, and we also have 5 vowel sounds. Yes, that is to say, going back to my previous slide, I said that in English we had 46 letters, yeah, 5 vowels and 12 vowel sounds, yeah. So notice the difference, more than double. In Spanish, we've got the same number of vowels than vowel sounds, yeah. So this is actually good news that consonants are more important. Vowels also tend to be quite flexible from accent to accent. So if you hear British people, American people, Canadian people, Scottish people, Australian people speaking, you will notice that what changes the most is the vowels. Yeah, consonants may change slightly, but more often than not, they stay the same. Yeah, good. Great. This is where the hard part starts. Yeah, so it's been a nice introduction, but let's get started to know which are the consonant sounds and which are the vowel sounds that we use in English. Consonants can be divided into voiced and voiceless consonants. Yeah, for those of you for whom this concept is new, yes, voiced, that is to say, con voz, yes, voiceless, sin voz, yeah, is the first distinction we make with English sounds, yeah. Voiced sounds, that is to say, sonidos con voz, are the ones that are produced with the help of our vocal folds or vocal cords that are located in our larynx, yeah. So cuerdas vocales. Whenever these vocal cords are close together, yes, they cause vibration, yeah, and they create voice sounds. Whenever we pronounce voiceless sounds, these two vocal cords are a bit apart, so they let air flow in between, causing no vibration. Let's try this together. Yeah, I hope that I'm not the only dumb touching my face. Please do it along with me. I trust that you will be doing this. Take your hand, yes, and touch this part of your neck. Yes, touch this part of your neck. And now say the sound S, like the letter S. Yes, I will be writing this so it's clear for you. So say S, S, yeah. If you're doing this right, you won't be hearing any vibration here. S, you won't be hearing anything. But now do the same, and now pronounce the sound like in mum, and go back and forth, change between s and s, and notice how vibration starts and stops. Have you done it? Write it in the chat if you have. Okay, has it worked? Has it worked? All right. Okay, good. So this means that when you're pronouncing the word, the sound s, it means that your vocal folds, your vocal cords, are a bit apart. So they let air come through without vibration. But when you are pronouncing your vocal folds are doing some job there. They're vibrating, yeah, and they are causing the sound to be different, to come out with voice. Yeah. So this is the first distinction that we make in when we discuss sounds, and it exists in Spanish too, of course. I mean, these two sounds that I have just asked you to produce are sounds that we also use in Spanish, s and and it's exactly the same in Spanish. We have voiced and voiceless sounds. Yeah, this is of course an automatic process. Yeah, that you don't notice. You don't say, "Oh, I'll tell my vocal folds to vibrate because I'm going to say mum." Yeah, so you just don't do that. Yeah, whenever you don't remember if a sound is voiced or voiceless, produce it in isolation. So just say s or and you will right away notice if there is vibration or there is not. So here we have a very brief explanation of what I said. For some sounds, vocal cords need to be together and cause vibration, and for others, they need to be apart. This is a distinction that we make with consonants, because when it comes to vowels, all vowel sounds are voiced. Yeah, you can try it yourself. A, e, even in Spanish, o, u, you will see that any vowel that you pronounced will require vocal fold vibration. Come on, try it out. A, e, o, u. Or even English vowels, if you dare. A, o, u. Okay, I hope it has worked too. Great. Let's focus on consonants. I told you that the hard part was coming. All right. We have three main distinctions apart from voiced and voiceless consonants. Yeah. One of them is friction consonants. Yeah. What is written here on top? Friction. Friction is a word that is quite transparent to Spanish speakers, fricción. Yes, that is to say when two things closely touch one another. Yeah. So for these sounds, f, v, s, z, sh, j, and these ones that are written here on the presentation, to produce these, we let air come out of our mouth with a tiny friction. That is to say, a little obstruction, yeah, caused by some of our articulators or some of the speech organs. That could be our lips, could be the tongue, yeah, could be the teeth, yeah. So there is a little obstruction, but not too much. So this enables us to produce these sounds non-stop. So we could be saying f or v or s or sh for a long time, or to be more precise, as long as our breath enables us to produce. Yeah. So these are friction consonants. We have here a diagram for the production of s and z. Yeah. So you see that the little obstruction is here in our tongue, zzz, and if you do it, you would feel where the obstruction of air is. Zzz, yeah, so it's somewhere in your tongue and the roof of your mouth. Yeah, so again, it's not a complete obstruction, but it's a slight one. Another category is stop consonants. Yeah, and these are quite the opposite from the ones that we've just talked about. To produce these, our mouth cause more than friction. They cause obstruction. Yeah. So somewhere in our mouths, we block the air coming out of our lungs. Yeah. And we don't really let air come out until we release it, hasta que lo largamos, abruptamente. These are stop consonants. So, for example, p, p. So you see, if you were seeing my image in slow motion, you would see how my lips start getting close together. Yeah, they kind of block all air in the cavity of my mouth, and suddenly I open my lips to release the air. So even if you tried, you wouldn't be able to say p for I mean, in continuity. You wouldn't. I mean, you can say the previous ones. You can say friction consonants. So f, s, z, but we can't say p, 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 p. I mean, this is not really what I mean. It would be actually starting the sound all over again. The same happens with b, t, d, k, g, ch, j. These are the consonants that I have written here on top of the screen. So we can see here a diagram for the production of p, b. Yeah, notice that we don't speak about letters anymore. Yeah, because of what I said before. I don't say p or b because it would really depend on the word. Yeah, so p or b. Notice how air is obstructed here until I decide to release it. And there is a third category or main category of consonants, and these are nasal consonants. Yeah. For these consonants, the explanation is pretty easy. Air does not come out of our mouth, it comes out of our, say it at home, okay, it comes out of our nose, yeah? So when you are saying, yeah, the air would be coming out of your nose. Take your hand, yes, or the tip of your fingers, put them under your nose, just as if you were smelling your fingers, and say, as in mum, yes. Feel how air is coming out of your nose, and notice that nothing is coming out of your mouth, because in the case of your mouth is completely closed. Have you tried it out? Has it worked? Come on, say yes or no if it's worked. Good. All right. I hope no one is lying. I hope no one is saying, I've tried it out and they did not. We will know, I tell you. Okay. So we've got 3 nasal consonants in English. In Spanish, we've got 2. The first 2, and n. Notice how air is coming out of your lungs, and instead of going through your mouth, it decides to go through your nose. Yeah. In the case of the second one, the same happens, but we do have the mouth slightly open. So yeah, even if you try to say with your mouth closed, you would be producing So try it. So you see that the mouth is doing something, yeah, but the most important feature is that air is coming out of your nose. Good. So these are the 3 main consonants. Let's revise them. Friction consonants, so you can keep on saying the sound for as long as your breath allows you to. P, b, t. Stop consonants, that is to say those that you produce with air being built inside your mouth cavity and then being released. Yeah, and then we discussed nasal consonants, yeah, those for which air comes through our nose. Let's start talking about stop consonants. Yeah, we're going to be discussing consonants individually. Yeah, so so it's clearer for you how to produce these sounds. So we've got p and b. These really don't cause much problem for Spanish speakers. Yeah, but we do have to bear in mind that in English, the explosion is much bigger than in Spanish. So in Spanish, it's a little softer. So, papa. But we don't say papa like we would say in English. Yeah. So in English, we say Pope. Yeah. So Pope Francis, for example, Pope. So you see that the explosion is quite, when I mean explosion, I mean the air coming out. So, and in English, we say papa. Yeah, so you see that we do have a quite a similar sound, but in English it's stronger. Yeah. So to produce the sound, you would stop air behind your lips. Yes, as you can see on the diagram. So you see this man here is getting ready for his p sound. So he's constructing or letting air be saved in his cavity by blocking lips. So, and then he opens his lips to release the air. Notice the second stage. So p. This is how we do it. The distinction between p and b, and now you know what this means, is that p is voiceless and b is voiced. Try it along with me. P, no vibration. P, no vibration. B, b. There is some vibration on our larynx. Yeah, we can feel it here on our neck. Let's watch a video about the production of these two sounds. Yeah, a lovely woman from the BBC who will be explaining us and giving us a little trick on how to produce these two sounds. Here we go. I'll stop it to check if you can listen to the video. Yes? So please tell me if you can listen to the video. Okay. Sorry I interrupt with these questions, but it's really important for me that everyone is following, and it's frustrating if some of you can't. Okay, so one person cannot hear the video. So check, this is a YouTube video, so check that this is not silenced. Yeah? Fíjate que no esté silenciado el video con el parlantito. Good, most of you can hear. Let's watch. Good, all right. You may even try that at home later on. Yeah, you may just get a piece of paper, as I've got one here, and you may just hold it on your hand, and you may just say, well, one of them was pack, yes, and you will see how the paper moves, and back, it doesn't really move. So that is because we need more air to pronounce p than we need to pronounce b. Let's move on. Other stop consonants, so these ones we need to obstruct and release, are t and d. However, the obstruction is not on the lips now, so it's not like p and b, but it's on t and d. Yeah, so the obstruction is created by the tongue touching your mouth behind your teeth. So notice where the obstruction is. Please, I would encourage everyone to try this along with me. Todos los sonidos que voy haciendo, está bueno que los vayan haciendo ustedes también, así saben a qué me refiero cuando hablo. And then you suddenly release it. So, t, d. Good. And again, the difference between these two sounds is that t is voiceless. Yes, I've written here below, yeah, voiceless, and d is voiced. Again, you might try it yourself by touching this part of your body. So, t, 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 d, d, d. You will see how the second one vibrates. These two cause some problems for Spanish speakers because, again, our t and our d are softer. So in Spanish we say té, no? For example, quiero tomar té. Yeah, we don't say tea, t, t, tea. Yeah, in English there is a bigger explosion. Yeah, the same happens with d. In Spanish we say dedo, dedo. So it's like so soft. In English it would be dedo if we wanted to pronounce the Spanish word d, dedo. Yeah, you see how strong it is in English. We've got two more stop consonants, and these are k and g. Okay, and I hope that by this time you can guess what is the difference between k and g in English and in Spanish. Write it in the chat. So how are they different from our Spanish k and g? It's very similar to what I said before about p, b, and t, and d. So my question is, what is the difference between k and g in English and in Spanish? Okay. All right. So yeah, they are stronger in English. Yeah. So just like the previous ones, that's how they differ. Again, they are not really problematic sounds because we have them in Spanish, but they vary a little bit. In this case, we stop the air with the back of the tongue, yes, la parte de atrás de la lengua, that touches the top of your mouth. So notice, you say k, k, feel where your tongue is, k or g, yeah? It is slightly, it's touching the right part, the upper part of your mouth. So that is where the obstruction is, yeah? So again, to produce the sound, you would create some obstruction and then you would release it abruptly, yeah? So these are stop consonants. Let's move on to friction consonants. Remember these ones, the ones that we may pronounce the sound continuously, non-stop, yes, because there is a little friction. All right, so in the case of f and v, the first one is quite easy for Spanish speakers. The second one might cause some problem, but we use our top teeth and our bottom lip, yes, los dientes de arriba, el labio de abajo, to create some obstruction. For f and for v, yeah, it's exactly the same. Again, when pronouncing f, more air is needed. Let's watch a very short video about these two sounds too. Again, it's the same lovely woman from the BBC who will be telling us a bit more about these two sounds. Here we go. All right, good. So there you could see how different the pronunciation of the letter V is in English. Yeah, this is a problem that Spanish speakers may have at first. Yeah, we assimilate the sounds V and B together. Yeah, and we pronounce it like the letter B as in boat. Yes, we say vote. We say vote, or like we say in Spanish, votar. Yes, but we don't say vote. Yeah, all right. All right, good. So you're having some problems. Paula is saying off and all right. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Off and of are different. Yes, good. That is a really good point. Yes. So what they are saying, I'll write it here on the presentation, is that off, yeah, the preposition off, like you turn something on and off, is pronounced with the sound as in off, but the preposition of, even though it's spelled with an F, it's pronounced with a V. Of. Yeah, this is. Thank you very much to these people. This is a really clear example of a letter that is pronounced differently. Good. Let's move on to the next slide. So we continue with friction consonants, yeah, and we are exploring them more in depth in this opportunity. We've got two quite complicated ones now, yeah. We've got yeah, very similar to the Spanish zapato, yeah. This is the first one here, yeah, and yeah, and again, the difference between these two sounds is that is voiceless and is voiced. Yeah, you can see here on the diagram how we pronounce these two sounds. So there is a tiny friction, yeah, with your tongue just behind your top and bottom teeth. So both parts of your teeth. Yeah. So yeah. That's the voiced pair. Good. Let's look at some words that take one or the other sound. Yes, so we've got the word think, thanks, 30, theater, south, birthday. Yeah. So as you can see, this sound is typically realized with the letters th. Yes, think, thanks, 30. This sound is not difficult for people from Spain. You might guess why, because they already have it in their language. Yeah. What we do in Argentina, yes, our brains are programmed to transfer that sound to the closest one that we have in our mother tongue. So we've got, so when we try to say, and we are learning, of course, yes, our brain would make us either go, this is what happens typically for students, either to go for S or to go for F, yeah, because they are really close and we have them in Spanish. So some students might say sink or think, others would say thanks or thanks, yeah? And what is happening there is that our brain is trying to find the closest sound that we have in our mother tongue, in our repertoire, yes? En nuestro repertorio de sonidos que podemos hacer, yeah? So by making effort and learning, you can tell your brain, hey, no, I need another sound, not one that I already have, and you try to incorporate this one. Yeah. Let's look at the same kind of sound, but voiced. Yeah. This, mother, brother, the article the, other, with. Yeah. Good. The same happens here. Yeah. Spanish speakers, as we don't have this sound in Spanish, they might want to go somewhere like di, for example. So they say this or mother, yes, or with, yeah, when that is not the real one. Good. Let's try to guess which sound is the correct one in the next slide. So I will ask you for some participation here. So how do you pronounce? So you are going to choose A or B. Yeah, the first one will be A and the second one will be B. And I will pronounce them, yes, because I don't expect you to be familiar with the symbols right now. So how do we pronounce this word? Do we pronounce it without or without? Without or without? Please choose one. So, oh, sorry, I did C or no. No, that's not the right one. So A or B. So A would be without, B would be without. All right, good. Most people are saying A. Yes, that's the right one. So the pronunciation of this word is without. Yes, so you have to feel the vibration here. Without. What is the pronunciation of this word? I can't say it. Is it then or is it, sorry, is it, the first one is then? Is it then or is it then? Let me create the question. So is it then or is it then? Is it then or is it then? Okay, good. Everyone is going for B. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we say then. Yeah, good. Let's look at these two friction consonants. Yes, we talked about this one before, and Z. So this one is very similar to mosquito flying next to your ear, or maybe a bee, yeah, buzzing, yes, Z. That's the second one, yeah. And I guess that by this time, you can guess which one is voiced and which one is voiceless, yes. So we've got S, voiceless, Z, voiced. Yeah, again, we have some little friction here between the tongues and the teeth. Yeah, let's look at some words that have this sound within. Sister, sister, glasses, scissors, scissors, city, city. So notice that we are spelling this word with a C, but it is pronounced the same way as double S, for example, yeah? Or even SC. Good, this sound doesn't really cause confusion for Spanish speakers. Look at Z, easy, music, roses, gives, zoo, and jazz. Typically, you would hear this sound in words that have S, maybe between vowels in some cases, maybe at the end, yeah, or even with words beginning or having the letter Z, yeah. So Z. Let's watch a little video explaining some of the differences between these two sounds that are often confused. Good, so you might be saying, I really didn't notice any difference. Well, it might be the case that these words or these sounds, especially when pronounced at the end of the word, they're very, very similar, yeah? But if we analyze and hear the speech slowly, we could see that there is a difference there, yeah? So what happens to Spanish speakers in this case, I'm always making reference to Spanish speakers because this is what really helps us to understand and get better, yeah? To understand what we're doing wrong and to try to find a solution to it. In Spanish, we have, in English, Spanish speakers don't have any problem with s, but they don't really make a distinction with z. So they say, I went to the zoo, for example, yeah? When it should be, I went to the zoo. Yeah? Or they say, I like listening to music. But the right one is, I like listening to music. Music. Yeah? This activity is easy. No. Easy. No. This activity is easy. Yeah? Easy. So the sound in the middle has got some vibration. Let's look at, let's try out our luck. Let's see how much we know about this sound. This word, yeah, so if you're married to a man, that man is your A, husband, husband, or B, your husband, husband. Yeah, it doesn't matter whether you know or don't know. Just choose one and we'll see. This is the purpose. So is it A, husband, husband, or husband? Husband. Okay, many more people are going for B, but in fact, the right one is A. So we say husband. Yeah, husband. Yeah, in the middle, just like music or easy, the sound in the middle would be Z, husband. Let's look at another one. This one, do we pronounce it basic, basic, or do we say basic? Yeah, you're starting to listen the difference, right? So basic or basic. Which one do we say? A, basic, or B, basic? Okay, super tight. 21 versus 21. Let's see. Now it's moving slightly. Okay, so opinion is really divided here, and I agree that it's one of the trickiest ones. So 45 versus 55. The right one is A. Yeah, we say basic with an S. Basic. Okay. Good. Let's look at some more friction consonants. Yeah. We've got another pair. Remember that I am presenting these pairs because they are voiced and voiceless, but the place of articulation, what we do in our mouths, is exactly the same. What changes is the vibration of our vocal cords. Yeah. So we've got the first one. This is shh. Yeah. So when you're telling someone to keep quiet, shh, that's the sound. And the second one is zh. So it's exactly the same place, but we incorporate the vibration of the vocal cord. So the first one is shh, and the second one is zh. Yeah, you see the difference. With the first one, we don't really have any trouble. We can say shh, because especially in Buenos Aires, we say sho, 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 and people from other countries make fun of us, so they say sho, sho, sho. Okay, that's one that we use all the time. Zh, some people in Argentina use this one. Yeah, so zh, it's not quite common, but some people say yo, yeah, or llave. Yeah, people that want to pretend they come from the high society. They might say zh, pollo. Yeah, you know this joke that we typically hear. All right, or for example, just to bring up some personal anecdote, my brother, who is he's quite flexible with his accent, and he likes traveling around the country. Yeah, when he moved to Cordoba, he started saying yo, lluvia, but not because he wanted to pretend anything, just because he got surrounded with people that pronounce it that way, and he kept saying, and he's still saying that. I don't say anything to him anyway. And I don't think that he will watch this webinar. All right, good. So we have some examples here. Shop, fashion, cash, fresh, mushroom. Yeah, so pretty easy. In the second one, z, remember there is vibration. You can touch here, so you can notice. Television, usually, Asia, pleasure. So notice how very common words that we use all days include this sound. Television, zhin, usually, Asia, pleasure. Good, I hope you can do it now. There aren't many words with this sound, but those that exist, yeah, they are worth being pronounced correctly. Let's watch the woman again, this lovely woman from the BBC, telling us, giving us some tips on how to tell the difference between these two sounds. Here we go. Good. All right. So remember that you will have access to this PowerPoint presentation with all the links I have written down here. So anytime you feel like practicing, you will be able to listen to these videos again. Yeah. All right. Let's move on. We're going to continue for a little while with consonants. So I have a question ready for you. How do you pronounce the place where you wait for a train? Do you wait at A, the station, or do you wait at B, the station? Yeah? Do you wait at the station, or do you wait at the station? Station or station? Okay, all right. Many more people are going for A, and that's correct. It wasn't a trick. Some of you might have thought, oh, he's doing some tricks here to us, like he did in the previous one. No, but this one was really easy. Okay, so station. So the way you've been pronouncing it, just keep on doing it. I'm sure it's fine. Remember that I told you that there are few words that we pronounced with the sound j than we do with sh. All right. This one, yeah. How do you pronounce something that pirates, los piratas, hid, yes, escondían or whatever, and what was usually found in these pirate stories, full of golden coins, full of money, full of pearl necklaces? Is it a treasure or is it a treasure? Is it a treasure or is it a treasure? It rhymes with one the woman mentioned before, yes? It rhymes with pleasure. So is it treasure or is it treasure? Good, all right. Opinion is quite divided, but most of you have gone for A. Yes, that's right. Okay, so it's pronounced the same as pleasure. In fact, these words are two rhyming words. Treasure, pleasure. Good. All right, we've got two more. And these consonants, these are quite special because they are made of two sounds, yes? We have just studied sh and j. So these sounds are quite similar, but they have a previous one before. So we combine t and sh, and we create ch, ch. Very common in an Argentinian speech too, when we say che, ch. So we have it, no problem. Look at the second one, j, j. We don't have it. This is a problem, yeah? So I'll pronounce them again, ch and j, ch and j. Let's look at some words that have this sound. Chips, choose, future. So notice that we've got a T and we pronounce it like a CH, yeah? Future. Question, again, question, kitchen. Ch is voiceless. Ch, we don't feel any vibration. Now let's look at the other one. J, jam, jacket, general, age, fridge. Jam, jacket, general, age, fridge. So Spanish speakers, as we don't have this one, we may change it for sh, and we may say sham, shacket, general, age, frish. Okay, sounds bad. Yes, indeed. So the reason is that the word is pronounced with a different sound. Jam, not sham. Jacket, not shacket. General, not general. Age, not age. Fridge, not frish. Okay, good. There's another video for you to watch a little bit later. How do we pronounce Okay, if you don't, when I ask these questions, you don't really need to know what the symbols mean. You just need to hear me saying the options. So the options are A, shacket, shacket, B, jacket, jacket, C, chacket, chacket. Okay, I'll say them again. Shacket, jacket, or chacket. Okay. All right, most people went for B, and that's the right one, yes. Yeah. Remember that when we have the letter J or the letter G, G or J, typically, so depending on the vowel that follows, yeah, we pronounce this as J and not sh. Yeah, so jacket is the same as jam, what you put on your toast in the morning. Jam, you don't put any sham, you put jam. All right. Don't worry, we don't have many more consonants coming up, just a few more. Good. Yes, jazz. Paula is asking for jazz. Have I forgotten about jazz? It was written there. Oh, it was not, but yes, jazz. Jazz is one that includes this sound too. Good. Let's talk about nasal consonants. Yeah. M and N, we won't really go so deep into this because it's the same as in Spanish. Very similar. But at the beginning, we said that a third one was not included in our Spanish repertoire. Yes, and it's true. This one is not. Notice how the N or N is pronounced in the second diagram. Feel your tongue. Know where your tongue is. Pronounce it with me. And notice that the tip of your tongue is touching the roof of your mouth. Tun. Sorry. Okay. To produce this sound, this is the sound. It's a nasal sound. We need to move our tongue backwards. So we do the same, but we touch the back part of the mouth, yes, with the back part of the tongue. So, notice whether your tongue is touching. Okay, sounds funny. I hope some of you, it doesn't matter if you're laughing. This is what pronunciation really triggers in some students, and that's just fine. So let's look at some words that have this sound, yes? Typically, when there is a k or g after. So look at these words. Long, long. So we don't say long, long. Yeah, we say long. Sing, sing. We don't say sing, sing. We don't. Bank, bank. We don't say bank, bank. Yeah? Uncle, uncle. So my mother's brother, yeah, is my uncle, uncle. Finger, finger. We don't say finger, finger. Okay, good. Let's look at, let's watch a video. I'm choosing which videos to watch, you may have noticed, because some sounds are easier to produce than others. And I guess that the explanation from an expert, like this lovely woman from the BBC, is sometimes helpful. So remember, we're going to explore this difficult one. There we go. Now you will be laughing at her and not at me. Good. All right. So I hope you've been repeating. Yes, when the woman says repeat after me, what you have to do is repeat after her. Yeah, I hope you've done so. So let's do a little question. How do you pronounce the ing form of the verb that you use when you refer to saying words or when you say a song with a particular rhythm? Yeah, do you say A, singing, B, sinning, or C, sinning? Again, I'll go again. Do you say A, singing? Do you say B, sinning? Or do you say C, sinning? Good. Choose one. Come on. So, singing, sinning, or sinning? Good. I'm surprised most of you got it right. Yes, it's A. We say singing. So notice there is no G at all. So we don't say singing at any point. Yeah, we don't actually pronounce this G. Yeah, singing. Great. We're going to explore the last 3 consonants. Yeah, and we are done with them, I promise. So we've got 3 consonants that don't really cause much problem, and that's why I left them for the end. We've got, so we would be like exhaling. Yeah, we don't have it in I mean, it's similar to la J in Spanish, but in Spanish it's a bit stronger. We say jamón. Okay, it's stronger. In English, in this case, it is weaker. Yeah, yeah, like hello. Yeah, or hotel, or hot. We've got you know this one, yeah, as in rabbit, yeah, and we've got l as in lion. Let's look at some examples. Hat, here, hot, who, hole. So notice that it could be an H or it could be WH, who, hole. And also notice that it is not as strong as Spanish. So don't say hat, or hot. You don't say hot like jota. No, say hot. So slightly less air coming out. Menos aire que en español. Hot. Good. Let's look at R. So not really difficult. Red, ready, very, sorry, right, wrist, wrap. Okay, good. It is different from Spanish as well, because in Spanish it is softer, like for example, raro. Yes, it is softer. In English, it is different. Yeah, we make it by curling up. You can see it here. Curling up your tongue. So you say so your tongue is like doing a wavy movement, as if it was a wave of water. Yeah, just curling up, haciendo un rulo. Yeah, all right, that's the one. And finally, l. Pretty easy. Learn, leave, English, tall, well, yellow. Good. There is not much difficulty in these sounds, but let's see if you can answer these questions. If you tell the truth, if you are frank, yeah, are you honest or are you honest? Are you honest or are you honest? Okay. So are you honest or are you honest? Okay. And again, I'm doing a little trick here on you. It is honest, yeah? The first one is the right one. We don't pronounce the H. Why is that the case? I'll tell you. In Spanish, we always say that la H es muda. We have been bored hearing this by people saying or explaining how to pronounce that word, yeah? That letter, sorry. In English, H is not mute, except in some words. Yes, so this is one of the exceptions. In honest, come on, write in the chat if you know any other word with H that is not pronounced. Okay, Veronica says ours. Very good. We don't say hours or hours. Okay. Good. There are two more. Okay, honor. Very good, Aníbal. Yes, honor. We don't say it's been a honor. It's been a honor. We don't say that. We say it's been an honor. Honor. The last one is really tricky. No, it's not horse, because we do say it horse. Yeah, it's this is for the advanced students. Someone who inherits, que hereda something. Yeah, for example, we can say that Prince Charles is the to the British throne. Heredero, that's what I mean, but in English, of course. Let's see if someone's writing it. Okay, that is the verb. Inherit is a verb, is heredar, and the H is not mute. We say inherit. In English, heredero is heir. Yes, it's pronounced the same as heir. Yes, so these four words contain a mute H, and these are exceptions. Yeah, so remember, in most cases we pronounce them, except for these words, and of course, derivations like dishonest, hourly, honorable, yes, or heiress, like when we're speaking about a woman. What about the second question? Is the L in the middle pronounced here or not? Do we say half or do we say half? Do we say half or do we say half? Do we say half or do we say half? Okay, all right, so most people say A, and they are right. We don't pronounce the L in the word half. Yes, the same happens in another word, or many other words, like two verbs, two very common verbs. Write them in the chat. One that you use as a synonym sometimes for speak, yes, another one that is a movement that you do with your body. It's something that we cannot do outside in this quarantine. All right, good. So we've got talk and walk. Very good. With these two words, L is silent. So talk and walk. Yeah. Yet another example that in English we don't have one-to-one correspondence. Yeah, because typically we pronounce L's like lion or tall or ball, yeah, or milk, but in these cases we don't. Talk, walk, and Feli is also mentioning stalk. Stalk, yes. So it's a very common word now in social networks, like he's stalking me or she's stalking me. But in Spanish, we sometimes say me está stalkeando, and there we pronounce the L. So it's like we don't follow the rule. Okay, and Vero is contributing with two auxiliaries. Yes, would or could, two modal verbs, two auxiliaries. Would, could. Great, thank you. Okay. Oh, we've got two more. I promise we finish with consonants with these two. These consonants I haven't introduced before because they are quite particular. Yeah, these consonants are sometimes called semivowels, semivocales. So it's like they are in the middle between consonants and vowels, and they are not really the same in Spanish. The first one is w, yeah, like for example in week, way, what, where, one, question, square. So you might be saying, oh, but it's exactly the same as ooh. Okay, it's not. Hear the difference when you say week, week, and week, week. So you see that w is shorter, yeah, and it's like there is a tiny, no, we cannot call it an obstruction, but there is the articulators in our mouth are doing much more than they do for the pronunciation of U. Yeah, look at this diagram: lips rounded and lips forward, redondeados y para adelante. So U, U. And then we have a similar one, yeah, but it's another sound. Y, y. So you might be saying, oh, but it's really similar to E. No, listen to the difference. Y, y, and E. Yeah, we can find these sounds in yes, yesterday, ear, usual, student, university, new. Look at how we produce this sound. Just a small gap at the top of your mouth. So e, e, e. For I, we wouldn't be having we would be having a smaller gap. Like there wouldn't be any kind of obstruction, let's call it, at all for I, because like the mouth is open for the sound to come out with I. But with this consonant, E, it is slightly obstructed or bothered, we could say, but some of the articulators in our mouth. If you're not really convinced by what I say, just tell me what is correct. Is it correct in English to say an uniform? Or is better to say a uniform? Is it better to say an uniform or a uniform? So A, an uniform. B, a uniform. Tell me what you think is better. An uniform, a uniform. Yeah. You can also forget about grammar rules. Just hear it and say what to your ear sounds better. A uniform or an uniform. So an uniform, that's option A. A uniform is option B. Right. Most people have gone for the first one, an uniform. But I'm sorry to disappoint you that is not the correct one. Yeah, we learned that we use indefinite articles, so an, before vowels. But uniform does not begin with a vowel. It begins with a written vowel, but it doesn't begin with a vowel sound, because uniform begins with the sound y. Y. So the correct one is a uniform, or even a university. A university. We can't say an university, because university, believe it or not, starts with a consonant sound. Yeah. In American English, this sound is sometimes omitted. For example, in the words new and student, American people would say new and student. So British people would say new, American people would say new. British people would say student, American people would say student. Good, all right. We are done with consonants. So I would like to ask you whether you are tired. So I'm going to give you some options. I'm very tired. I can't take this anymore. Please shut up. I'm tired. I'm okay. So it's like not so convinced, but you're okay. I'm perfect. Let's go on. Please choose one of these options. So how do you feel now? I'm very tired. I'm tired. I'm okay. I'm perfect. Let's go on. Good. All right. So most of you are okay. All right. Well, I will accept this as something really positive. 4 people are tired. Well, for these 4 people, good news, we will only be going on for just 15, 20 minutes, no more than this. And those of you that are perfect, well, thank you for the the boost. Thank you for the encouragement. All right, we've spoken about consonants, and it's time to speak about vowels now. Yeah, remember that we said that pronunciation or phonology is usually made up of vowels and consonants. Yeah. We also said that there was a difference between vowels and consonants, and that vowels were always voiced. We always need air with vocal folds vibrating. Yeah, so in all cases, we need our vocal folds to vibrate. Vowels in any language are just made up of air coming out of your lungs and your mouth taking different shapes, yeah, without obstructing anything at all. So we create vowels with different positions of our lips and our tongue. Yeah, you can try it if you just let air out of your mouth and move the shape of your mouth in different forms. So, ow, ow, ow. So by doing that, I'm creating different vowel sounds. Yeah, I am not using any part of my body to obstruct, so I'm not producing any consonants, yeah, but I'm letting air free, but shaping my mouth differently every time I say a different vowel. It is a bit difficult to describe what happens in the mouth when we produce vowels, and for this reason, we won't do a description like we did before, but we will explore the basics or vowels. Vowel sounds in English are divided into long vowels, short vowels, and diphthongs. Remember diphthongs. So long vowels, as the name suggests, are vowels that we take longer to produce. Like, for example, ah or o, yeah, or e. Short vowels take a shorter time, like a or I or e. Diphthongs, as you might remember from primary school, diptongos, they are combinations of two vowel sounds, like, for example, ear or ua or oi or I. We have these sounds in English too. Let's talk about long vowels. Yeah, we have them all together here. We've got E, so it's a long E, and your lips are spread as if you were really happy. Yeah, E, ooh, lips rounded and long sound. Ooh, ah. Yes, so mouth opened, lips slightly rounded. Ah. Oh, much more rounded than before. Oh, and So let's look at some examples. The first sound, long E, we can find it in agree, see, eat, and seat. The second vowel sound, oo, we can find it in to, shoe, blue. The third vowel sound, ah, we can find it in car, father, bar, start. The fourth vowel sound, we can find it in horse, door, boat, walk. And the last one, we can find it in bird, first, turn, Thursday, and prefer. So notice how long it is, prefer. Yeah. Short vowels, we have 7 of them, yes, and they are I. So remember the previous one, E. This one is I. O. Remember the previous one, oo. This one is O. A. The previous one was A. This one is A. And we've got another A, otra A. So A, O. Remember the previous one? It was O, as in horse. This one is O, short O. E and A. we're going to explore this in depth in a second. So let's look at some words containing these sounds. If, listen, miss, swim, busy, building. They all contain short I. Full, sugar, book, foot, wood. So you can't really say my book, or you can't say fool, the place is full. No. So it would be full or book. Then we've got bus, color, cup, London, uncle. So this is a short yeah. Bus, it's bus, color, cup, London, uncle. We've got a happier so when we pronounce it, we look happier than with the previous one. Back, hat, factory, and jam. So notice how my mouth and my lips spread out, yes, to pronounce it. Back, hat, factory, jam. We've got short O, as in box, clock, cost, job, want, what. Yeah. We've got short E. This one is very similar to Spanish. Check, leg, letter, read, said, any. And we've got one more that is this weird symbol. It's like an E upside down, dada vuelta, and it is a sound that we called schwa. It's got its own name. It's the only one that's got its own name, and we find it in most English words. So it is the most frequent sound in English. Yeah. The problem with this sound is that it's too weak, muy débil, and we produce it by our mouth being in a relaxation position. So we have to relax our mouth. We don't really need to take any shape there. It's like as if we were thinking, as if we were doubting. Yeah, and we find it here in syllables that are not stressed. So for example, away, away. Yeah, I'm focusing on the first one, away. Yeah, so we don't say away, away. Yeah, away, away. Yeah, look at this one. The stress is in the second syllable, but the first and the last one, they are weak. So banana, banana, banana. Yeah, okay. We can't say banana, banana, because that's English. That's placing a strong, sorry, that's Spanish. That's placing a strong sound in every syllable. We don't have that in English. Sugar. So notice the second one, sugar. We don't say sugar or sugar or sugar. So we say sugar, sugar. Under. Look at this one, police. So the stress is in the second syllable, lease, this sound, and the previous one is p. Police, police. So even if it is an O, we don't say police, police. We say police, police. Finally, figure, g, figure, g. Good, I've copied some videos here, which I will let you download in a second, so you will be able to watch them and explore how we pronounce these vowel sounds. Finally, let's finish with diphthongs. Yeah, so there are 8 of them, and we are going to watch a video explaining them. Yeah, so I won't explain them myself. You will have some words here to practice at home. You can repeat them, but we'll watch a video of someone explaining this to us. It's not the same lady. So if you said, oh, I don't want to hear that British lady from the BBC speaking again, don't worry. It's another British person, but it's not the same one. Okay, here we go. In fact, it's much more modern. Yeah, there we go. Good. Just want to say that this video has subtitles, tiene subtítulos. Si quieren pueden apretar el botoncito al lado de la rueda de configuración y aparecen los subtítulos. Good. All right. So pronunciation with Emma. That lady has taught us a bit about diphthongs. Yeah, and I think it was pretty clear. Good. So we've come to the end of the description of vowels and consonants. For those of you using English file as a book, you will notice that at the end of the book, yes, if you don't have it, you will be able to see it in this presentation, of course, you have an interesting description of vowel sounds, usual spelling, that is to say, which letters usually mean which sound, yes, but you have some others that are exceptions. For example, in the case of short I, usually it's the letter I, but it could be the letter E, like pretty, or it could even be the letter O, like in women, or it could be the letter U, as in busy. So these pages will help you understand how spelling and pronunciation changes from word to word. People, we've come to the end of the session. We really don't have much time for the rest. Yes, I was hoping to speak about British or American English. What's the difference? I was also hoping to speak about common mistakes for Spanish speakers. Yes, and finally, I was planning to give you some tips on how to practice pronunciation. But what we're going to do is we're going to offer a second session, yes, so in which we can explore pronunciation and these changes in variety, American versus British, and then some tips on how to improve your pronunciation. Anyway, I will leave this PowerPoint presentation for you to download so you can see it whenever you want, and you can practice with the links that I have left. Yeah, we have some questions, so please, if you have one, we'll just take 5 minutes to answer them. Yes, Veronica is choosing the questions, so just write them on the chat, and I'll take 5 minutes to answer them. One of you is asking how we pronounce the word car, like where you drive, yes, in British and American English. So this is the one. So one of the things, and I'm going to anticipate a little bit to the upcoming webinar, we can just consider it a fact, is that in American English, the R is always pronounced in any position. Yeah, but in British English, you may have noticed that the R is only pronounced before vowels and never at the end of the word. So, for example, if we've got the word rat, yes, or rabbit, we would pronounce it the same in American and in British English. Yeah, but when it is in the end, in British English, it would be inaudible. Inaudible means you cannot hear it. So you say car, car. And in American English, you would go car, car. Yeah, so car and car. Good. Any other questions that you would like to write in the chat? So it's the only one. Okay, good. Flor is asking about the difference between the two N sounds that we explore, like the one, for example, in never and the one in song. So the one in never, yeah, that we find at the beginning of the words, yeah, is similar to Spanish, nene, nene, never. The one at the end, that remember we can only find at the end, and usually before the letters G and the letter K, is So we say song, song. So we don't say song, but we say song. Good. All right. So I think we are done with questions. People, thank you for thanking. Yes, I've seen some comments of you thanking. So it's been a pleasure to have you here in this short session. Yeah, I hope that you've learned a lot, and I hope that this basic information is good for you to understand when, for example, you look up a word in the dictionary. You know, these symbols appear next to the definition. So I hope that from now on you can read and you can understand what it means. So you will be hearing from us soon. So we're going to create a second part of this pronunciation webinar where we'll focus on varieties of English, like American versus British English. We'll also focus on problems for Spanish speakers, so how to solve these problems that typically Spanish speakers have, and we're going to give you some tips on how to improve pronunciation. People, thank you very much for joining me. In the same course, the same button, el mismo lugar al que entraron a la videoconferencia, in some hours, en algunas horas, van a encontrar el material cargado para poder descargarlo. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Keep having a beautiful Saturday. Enjoy your weekend and see you around. Bye-bye.